Alright, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we'll be talking about spare shooting. Spare shooting is super critical to your game, so hopefully you learn how critical it is in this video and learn how you can get better and what strategies to use, because really in the game of bowling, there's no clear strategy on how to do your spares. It really is dictated by what type of bowler you are. So let's go ahead and get into it and learn about spare shooting today. All right, welcome back. A couple of points. It's very critical to your scoring. So spare shooting is very critical. It's a basic part of your game, and you need to work on this constantly. You really do need to work on it constantly. Spare shooting is not talked about as much, and I really don't know why, because when you go to a tournament, or heck, if you bowl in league or whatever you do, how many times do you see somebody missing a 10 pin or a 7 pin or a multi-pin spare or a split or whatever? I mean, you see it all the time, and it really changes the game when it comes to your scoring, because if you, for some reason, let's say you can't carry the 10 pin that night and you're right-handed, and you're not picking up your 10 pins, well, then you're 9 miss, 9 miss, 9 miss, 9 miss, when it could have been 9 spare, until you start to carry that 10 pin, and now you're striking, but because you have all those open frames, your score may be 170 instead of a 230. And so it's very critical. You have to work on spares all the time. And so in this video, I'm going to break down a couple of strategies that a person can use in order to get better with their spares. So what I did was, I have a picture here of a lane. And this is really your view when you get to the foul line. So the whole strategy is, how can I pick up the spares? And so what I've learned for myself is, through the art of bowling math, I have created numbers for myself to know where to stand and why I stand there for each spare. And so I know exactly where I'm going to slide and hit my target and then hit my target down lane based on the bowling math. And if you want to learn more about bowling math, I will cover that in a later video that I will link in this video once it's been uploaded. That way that you can better understand bowling math. But more or less, you have to know your strategy, why you stand where you stand, so that way you do that every single time, and you know exactly how to pick up every single pin that's on the lane in case you leave it. And so what I do is, I have a book, and this book will have my numbers in it. And so my numbers, let's say I'm going to go after a 10 pin, my numbers tell me that I need to stand at the 24 board on the approach, and then I have a 6 board drift, which will then take me to board 30 right here. So where is board 30? Let's go ahead and mark this for you, the way you all can better understand at home. All right, so this is board 20 here. Where I'm going to slide is board 30. Where I'm going to slide is board 30. So then at board 30, my target arrow is 20 at the arrows. And then down here, I'm looking at board 4. So if you put that all together, my bowling math is, I'm going to stand at board 24, I'm going to slide at 30, I'm going to hit 20, and I'm going to hit board 4. But that's my numbers. That may not be your numbers. So based on your drift, and how everything calculates, that will let you know what boards to stand on. So at the end of the day, you have to figure out your strategy. But if you see that, if you look at the line, if I release the ball here, you see it's a perfect line to my target. If I can draw a straight line back, let's see, board 20 right there. So that's a better line right there. That's my line toward the 10 pin. So that's what you have to figure out, is what's your line going to be. Could it be that you want to play straighter? Let's say you want to hit the 15 board. And so what you got to do in your mind, you got to draw a line all the way back to your target. So that right there would put you at about board 23, if you can draw a straighter line than me. Board 23 at the release point here, that you're hitting board 15 at the arrows, and then board 4, which is the center of the 10 pin, down lane. So that's your area. So depending on where you start on the approach and what your drift is, will tell you where to release the ball here. And it's the same thing with the 10 pin. If I can, I mean, not the 10 pin, but the 7 pin. For me, if I look at my numbers here, what I do is I stand on the 10 board on the approach, but I'm still hitting 20 at the arrows. But my drift is 6 boards, so I'm going to, if I start at the 10 board, I'm going to slide here, release the ball here, because it's normally about a 5 board difference. If I can, there we go. And so here we go. Starting on board 10 on the approach, I slide at board 16, but my target is board 20. And then down here, I'm looking at board 32. Reason why it's board 32, even though it's farther right than the 7 pin, is because of the angle at which I'm throwing it. And so if I'm throwing it at this angle here, that's a direct angle toward the 7 pin. And so again, you got to come up with your strategy. And the reason why I like throwing it more at an angle is because if you think about it, like in the game of pool or billiards, whichever one you call it, I call it pool, you shoot the ball at a certain angle in order to get that ball to go there. You don't go straight at the ball, because then if you're going straight at the ball, there is no angle toward the pocket. So normally you come at it at an angle, and it's really just a game of angles. It's just a game of little minor degree alterations or configurations in order to get to where you need to be. And so that's all bowling is, that's all pool is, it's just a game of angles. So in this part of the video, I just want to if I can zoom in here real close, just to see if you got down to the pins of how small that the margin of error is. Because normally a ball would be about this size right here. And then a ball would be about this size right here if you're going after the 7 or the 10 pin. And so that's what I'm saying. You want the ball to come at the correct angle toward that pin or toward that pin. And it's the same thing for every other pin. And maybe in a later video I can cover multi-pin spares or whatever, maybe splits. That way you can better understand this. But I think to really better understand spare shooting is you have to understand your bowling math. And so that I will cover in a later video. But this video was just more or less getting you to understand what your strategy should be, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, so that way you can become a master at spare shooting. So hopefully you learned something in this video. And then in the next video, we will cover oil patterns And so that way you can better understand how to bowl on certain patterns and what oil patterns will do to your bowling ball. So thanks for watching.